7 players, 6 federations, 1 verdict. The one we think will define this World Cup and the next decade after it. Let's start with the one most of you already know. He cost Real Madrid 60 million euros. They played him for 99 minutes. 5 months, the most expensive Brazilian teenager in football history, averaging just over a minute a day on the pitch. Then Carlo Ancelotti, the man who'd be picking Brazil's World Cup squad, told him to leave, get out of Madrid, or miss the World Cup. Endrick left. January 1st Lion. Within 3 games, he had 4 goals and an assist. By his 3rd game, a hat-trick at Metz. The youngest player to score 3 in a single match for Lyon, a record set by Bernard Lacombe, which had stood for 54 years. League One Player of the Month, January. Then, in April he scored, he assisted, Lyon beat PSG away. He's 19 years old, the same age Pelé was when he won his 2nd World Cup, and Brazil, for the first time in a year, picked him for the squad. 6 months ago, his career was a cautionary tale. Now he's on the plane. But here's the case against. Because he's 19, because he plays the same position as Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, and Matheus Cunha, and because League One form in February doesn't always survive a round of 16 against France, the redemption is the story everyone knows. The next one, most of you have never heard his name. 2 years ago, he was playing high school soccer in Florida. 2 years. Yan Diomande, born in Abidjan, moved to the United States as a kid, joined an academy in Daytona Beach, played for an American semi-pro side in the local Florida League. The kind of pathway that almost never ends in Europe. In November 2024, he signed his first professional contract, a second-tier Spanish club called Leganés. By the spring, he was making his La Liga debut against Real Madrid. Then Leipzig paid the 20 million euro release clause. 12 goals, 8 assists, 33 Bundesliga games. A hat-trick against Eintracht Frankfurt, the second youngest in Bundesliga history. Bundesliga Rookie of the Season, 2026. Liverpool, according to multiple reports, have already prepared £75 million. And he scored in his first 2 caps for Ivory Coast. Both were World Cup qualifiers. Both ended in wins. He is by some measures the fastest rising teenager in European football. 3 seasons ago, he was a high school kid in Florida. Now, he's the secret of the World Cup. But Ivory Coast are not Brazil. They're not even France. The group is brutal. He might play 80 minutes total across 3 games and be home by July. The next one? He's already done it on the biggest stage there is. 20 years old, Champions League final, May 31st, 2025. 2 goals. Young player of the tournament. PSG's first ever European title. Désiré Doué wasn't supposed to be the story that night. The story was Dembélé, the Ballon d'Or winner. The story was Luis Enrique, the architect. The story was supposed to be Inter Milan turning over a Parisian fairy tale. The story was a 20-year-old who'd been at PSG less than a year, signed from Rennes for 50 million euros in the summer. By winter, he was starting. By spring, he was rewriting the biggest game on the planet. 16 goals, 16 assists in a single season. He finished second to Yamal in the Copa Trophy, the award for the best young player in the world. Twice this season he's been injured. A calf, a thigh, 14 games missed. PSG haven't been the same without him. And then Didier Deschamps put him in the France 26. Here's the case against. France's frontline Mbappé, Dembélé, Olise is the deepest in the tournament. Doué might not start a single match. The kid who turned over Europe might not get on the pitch. The next one? He wears the number 10 at Juventus. In Italy, the number 10 shirt is sacred. Maradona wore it at Napoli, Roberto Baggio wore it at Juventus, then Del Piero, then Dybala, then Pogba. Now it belongs to a 21-year-old kid born in a small German city called Regensburg. Kenan Yıldız. His father is Turkish, his mother is German. He came through Bayern Munich's academy, and Bayern lost him to Juventus. This season, 10 Serie A goals, 6 assists, 14 goal contributions in all competitions. The top creator in a Juventus side that for the first time in years actually looks dangerous. For Turkey, 3 vital qualifying goals. They went into the playoffs. They beat Romania. They beat Kosovo. Yıldız was in midfield for both. Liverpool are watching. So are Arsenal. So are Chelsea. The Premier League's 3 biggest spenders all tracking him this summer. Here's the case against. Turkey are in Group D with the United States, with Paraguay, with Australia. Realistically, 1 knockout game, maybe 2, and then home. The shirt at Juventus is the size of a continent. The stage at this World Cup might be the size of a postage stamp. Yıldız wears the 10 for Italy's biggest club. The next one, he wears it for Argentina. The number 10 shirt for Argentina has been worn by exactly 2 players for the last 25 years. Maradona handed it to Riquelme. Riquelme handed it to Messi. Messi is 38 years old. In September 2025, in a World Cup qualifier against Ecuador, Argentina's 10 shirt was worn by an 18-year-old kid called Franco Mastantuono. Real Madrid paid 45 million euros for him, the biggest outgoing transfer in River Plate's history, bigger than Enzo Fernandez, bigger than Julian Alvarez. At 16, he became River Plate's 3rd youngest debutant ever. He scored a free kick against Boca Juniors that broke the internet. He made his Argentina senior debut at 17. Then at Madrid, a groin injury. He fell out of the rotation. 3 goals in 22 La Liga starts. Some weeks he didn't make the bench, but Scaloni kept calling him up. The kid is in Argentina's preliminary 35 for the World Cup. The final 26 has not been announced. He is fighting right now for the last seat on the plane. The shirt is bigger than the player. The next one, he already owns his. A year ago, Arda Güler was on the Real Madrid bench. Carlo Ancelotti didn't trust him. He didn't fit the system. The Turkish kid Madrid had paid 20 million euros for at 17. Then Xabi Alonso took over. Now Güler runs the Real Madrid attack. 4 goals, 9 assists, La Liga. This season, operating as the central playmaker behind Mbappé. He scored. He assisted twice. Turkey beat Bulgaria 6-1 in Sofia. In the playoff first leg against Romania, he played 90 minutes and delivered the assist for the only goal. 5 days later, Turkey beat Kosovo. They were going to the World Cup. His market value, according to Transfermarkt, is 83 million euros. He's not yet 22 years old. For Turkey, he and Yıldız are the most dangerous 21-year-old creative pair in the tournament. Here's the case against. Same group, same ceiling, the United States, Paraguay, Australia, 2 number 10s, 6 likely matches, no Vinicius, no Mbappé to find with the passes. Guler will define Turkey's World Cup. But this list isn't about who defines a country's World Cup. It's about who defines the World Cup. December 2007, Camp Nou. A 20-year-old Argentine, already the best young player in Europe, was photographed bathing a 6-month-old baby in a plastic tub, a UNICEF charity calendar. The Argentine was Lionel Messi. Baby was Lamine Yamal. Yamal's father kept the photo hidden for 16 years, specifically to protect his son from the comparisons. Then, in July 2024, 5 days before Yamal scored the goal that took Spain into the Euro final, his father posted the picture online. The caption read, "The beginning of 2 greats." He's now 18 years old. He has won already a European Championship, La Liga, Copa del Rey, the Spanish Super Cup. He has won the Copa Trophy twice, the only player in history to retain it. 16 goals, 11 assists this La Liga season. Top 98% of all La Liga players for expected goals. In May 2025, 6 different Inter Milan players were asked who their toughest opponent of the season was. All 6 said his name. A striker naming an 18-year-old as the toughest opponent he faced all season. Yamal isn't a wonder kid, he's the standard. Here's the case against. He's 18. The last teenager to define a World Cup was Pelé, 1958. The bar is impossible. So is he. So that's 7 players, 7 cases. Only one of them is right. Let's eliminate. Endrick, the redemption is real. Brazil's forward line is loaded. He'll get minutes. He won't get a tournament. Diomande, the talent is undeniable. Ivory Coast's group will probably end his summer in 2 weeks. Doué has already done it on the biggest stage. France's bench is the strongest in football. He may not start a knockout game. Yıldız wears the 10 at Juventus. Turkey are not winning this World Cup. Mastantuono, Argentina's 10 shirt belongs to Messi. One last time. The next 10 is still waiting. Guler, Turkey's creative engine. Turkey is the wrong team. 6 players, 6 exits. Which leaves 1? Lamine Yamal is already the best teenager in the history of football. He has won everything he's been allowed to win. Euros, La Liga, the Copa twice. The next thing on the list is the only trophy bigger than any of those. Spain are second favorites for the tournament. He wears the number 10. He has been on the biggest stages of the sport since he was 16, and none of them have looked too big. The question isn't whether he breaks out. The question is, when does he stop being a wonder kid and start being the best player in the world? We think that's the summer of 2026. World Cup Untold covers every nation, every captain, every story between now and the final. Subscribe, we've got 48 teams to get through.